trust me.
Marble.
Are you okay, honey?
Huh?
About last night. Well, at 3 in the morning, anyway.
You know about it?
It's on every channel. You have the face of a ghost. Do you want a glass?
I don't need a drink. I need information. Do you have anything?
Well, let's see. I do have... I suppose you could call it intuition.
Tell me.
Information about the incident.
The Kumakuras are involved in this case. Remember what I told you before? That there's a relationship between Ren and the Kumakuras? Shoko
Yes.
also has a relationship with them.
Yes, we know.
You know about her dealings with the Kumakuras, right?
Yes.
So basically, 2 of the victims are linked to the Kumakuras. That must mean they're involved somehow, right?
Not 2, 3.
3? Iris?
No, not that one. The boy. He came
Ota?
here last night?
Yep.
Ota?
Yes, from Matsushita Diner. He's linked to the Kumakuras as well.
How? How is Oda related to the Kumakuras?
Have you heard the rumor?
Mama told me a similar story to Ibis about Sosajima and the Kabazaki district. The basic idea is this. 8 years ago, So sold his land to the Kabazaki district for 30 billion yen. Half a year later, an explosion at the chemical plant caused the land prices to drop dramatically. So bought back the land for 1 billion yen. Almost like he knew beforehand that the incident would happen. Did So blow it up or conspire to blow it up? No, that wouldn't make sense. So wouldn't gain anything from that. He would end up with the 29 billion in cash and 1 billion in land. It's a net zero. But there's more to the story. About So and the Kabazaki district.
The Kumakuras own a handful of real estate companies. They of course look legit, but they're Yakuza fronts. I'll call those real estate companies the KE to keep it simple for you. The KE followed in So's footsteps. They bought up land in Kabazaki.
About So... Yeah, continue.
Now, back to So. Have you heard of the plans for the casino in Kabazaki? So was the one who came up with it.
I was born and raised in Kabazaki. I remember the landscape of my childhood, and I loved it dearly. But look at Kabazaki now. when I see images of the destruction on television. My heart aches like it's being chopped to pieces. But I promise you, I will revive the Kabasaki district at any cost. Casino Town Kabasaki will give new life to the city.
After that, So moved fast. He submitted the bills he needed to the National Assembly after drumming up support in the right places. The bills passed, and it became an official government initiative.
Decontamination efforts therefore increased at a rapid pace in the Kabasaki district. At the moment, the area is still considered off-limits. However, the air in Kabasaki is currently purified to such an extent that it has no negative effect on the human body.
If the plan goes smoothly, land prices in Kabasaki are going to skyrocket. And all that land is owned by the KE. And by So himself. The land he bought back for $1 billion will be worth 10 times that soon.
He's involved in some shady business.
Yep. Sounds like it.
This is just another rumor, but the chemical plant exploding was no accident. It was done intentionally.
By So and the Kumakuras, you mean?
But there's no hard evidence of that. It's just gossip.
About Ota and
What
the
were we talking
Kumakuras.
about again?
Ota and the Kumakuras.
Oh, right. You know how Matsushita Diner is close to the Kabasaki district? The chemical plant explosion made times hard. Foot traffic went down, sales declined. No wonder it closed down. Ota must hold a grudge. Someone caused that explosion. And if it was intentional, oh, he'd hate them even more. That's how I link Ota to the Kumakuras.
So, you're linking Ota to the Kumakuras because you're saying Ota blames the Kumakuras for the explosion and forcing his restaurant to close. That's kind of the opposite
Thank you,
connection
Mama. I don't know if what you told me will lead to anything, but
than the others have.
Sorry. I didn't mean to waste your time.
no, it was very helpful.
I'm glad I can help, even if it's just a little.
Well then, be seeing you.
Come back anytime.
Abyss headquarters. Back to HQ. I returned to boss's office to report. But I didn't see her anywhere.
Where did she go?
Well, she isn't always here, correct?
True.
I sat down in the usual seat and decided to wait for boss.
What are you doing?
I thought it would be easier to talk like this.
What do we have to talk about?
A summary of the investigation, perhaps?
What summary? We don't have anything new.
That's not true.
Huh?
I was curious, so I did some research. About number 89.
I haven't managed to get everything in this room yet. I know there's a hidden achievement to click on everything in this room. I can't see anything else I can click on. Well, there's something. Who is 89?
As you know, he is an assassin with multiple confirmed kills. He is currently serving a sentence at Fuchu Prison. He was imprisoned 6 years ago.
That's what Pewter told us.
Yep, that's what he told us.
After his fourth murder, he was arrested by the police.
What about 89 and the new Cyclops killings? Serial killings.
Pewter claims that there were 2 culprits behind the original serial killings. One was the former chairman of the Kumakuras, Rohan Kumakura.
But Rohan committed suicide last year.
That leaves 1 culprit still alive, number 89.
But number 89 couldn't possibly have committed these crimes. He was in jail when each of the murders occurred.
Correct. However, I do not believe it is accurate to claim that he had nothing to do with the incident.
I know who killed Shoko Nadami.
Yep.
If he was telling the truth, his involvement is possible.
What's the relationship between 89 and Shoko?
Unknown. I cannot determine if they have any connection. Approximately 1 month ago, Hitomi Sagan witnessed Shoko in Fuchu Prison's waiting room.
Yep.
I am unable to say for certain that the person she was there to visit was number 89. After all, Fuchu Prison houses 2,000 inmates.
But number 89 knew Shoko's name.
I know who killed Shoko Nadami.
That must mean that he knew her somehow.
It is possible.
Or knew of her. What's 89's real name?
Unknown.
You don't know?
No such person is listed in the family registry. It is possible he is a foreigner, but his nationality is unknown. However, I believe it is safe to say that he was born and raised in Japan.
Let's talk to 89.
Let's talk to number 89.
I don't know if he's telling the truth or if he's full of it, but he's our last remaining loose end.
All right. However, we need not go to him. We can bring him to us. If we plan on syncing with him, it would be more efficient.
Can you arrange that?
I can.
After cutting through some red tape, 89 was to be brought to HQ. He took considerable time to arrive, but for some reason, Boss never showed up.
Sorry to interrupt your busy day, but I need you to tell me something. I'd appreciate your cooperation.
Do you know Shoko Nadami?
Yeah, I guess I do.
About a month ago, Shoko visited Fuchu Prison. Was she there to see you?
That's right.
What did you talk about?
Nothing special.
You're in no position to lie.
I'm not lying. She didn't come to hear me talk.
Then why did she come?
To meet me.
Meet you?
She probably just wanted to see me.
What? When did you first meet Shoko?
A long time ago. I don't remember exactly when.
What's your relationship to her?
A physical one. I'm kidding. She was just a business partner.
Business partner? You're the original Cyclops killer, aren't you?
That's right. I was one of the culprits behind the case 6 years ago. One of the 2 Cyclops killers.
What's your name?
Number 89.
Your real name?
I don't remember.
How can you not remember your own real name? Where are you from?
Burkina Faso.
Burkina Faso is a republic in West Africa. Population 17 million.
I don't have time for your jokes.
Who killed Shoko Nadami?
All right, let's get right down to it. 2 days ago, you called Investigation HQ and said, I know who killed Shoko Nadami.
That's right.
Who?
Hey, don't be so hasty. We haven't agreed on a deal. You're gonna let me out of prison, right?
It's done. You've got a deal.
Whoa.
All right. But to explain it properly, I need to tell you a story. It might take some time. Is that all right with you?
I've got nothing but time.
You can't just go and agree on that deal straight off like that. You have to have permission to make that type of deal. You can't just free a mass murderer, knowing what you know about him, to go free.
Then let's get started. The story of a lonely assassin.
Why'd the curse of...
Once upon a time, there was a detective, full of righteous justice. Let's call him F. F found the evils of the world intolerable. F had no parents, no siblings, and grew up in an orphanage since he was born. He suffered every kind of abuse imaginable there. It led him to despise all the evils of the world. One day, F was chasing a thug down at the harbor. Someone wanted for the assault and murder of women.
Okay, I get it. I'll just throw down my knife. Here. And you lower your gun. It's fine. I got nothing else on me. I'll go quietly. You know, I have a history with hospitals. I've been going to a special hospital for a while. Even if I get caught, it's all good. I'll come right back out again. What should I do next time? Just thinking about it gets me excited.
I think that suspect was him. Was 89.
The culprit was unarmed, but F never served a day in prison. The case went to trial for some time, but it was determined to be self-defense,
Maybe not.
and he was declared innocent. If the truth got out, it would be a huge scandal for the police.
Yep.
People at the upper level were terrified of what might happen, so they had evidence fabricated. F wasn't suspended or disciplined at all. After a while, he returned to his job like nothing happened.
That happens way too often in the police force.
That was a turning point for him. He was ready to shed the morality that was weighing him down, holding him back. F still wanted justice, and he was willing to dispense it to the immoral one by one. He became an assassin, a lone gunman, no agent, no employer. He was his own man. F believed that he was judge, jury, and executioner, but it didn't last long. One day, F got rid of a criminal we'll call X. X was responsible for defrauding and killing an innocent old man for his life insurance policy. Turns out, X had connections. Someone wasn't happy that he died. Rohan Kumakura, chairman of the Kumakuras. X was a top executive of the Kumakuras at the time. Rohan ordered his men to find and kidnap F.
I've done some research. I know you've cleaned up at least 18 pieces of scum from this earth. But somehow there hasn't been a single criminal investigation. They're all treated as suicides, accidents, or natural causes. Amazing work. I'm impressed. How about you work for us? Of course, you have the right to say no. But it'll be the last word out of your mouth.
F was trapped. Even if he somehow survived, he would be looking over his shoulder for the rest of his life.
Thinking
He
he
had
may
no
be
choice
F.
but to take Rohan's offer. Thus, F's self-employment came to an end. He became a hired gun of the Kumakuras. Rohan even gave him a code name, Falco, named for the falcon, a bird of prey. Falco didn't quit his job as a police officer, though. He worked as a detective by day, assassin by night at the will of the organization. An ordinary killer would need motive to take a life, but not Falco. He did as he was told, one target after another. It didn't take long to destroy his heart completely. Time passed, and a few years back, Falco, who by this time was exhausted in body and spirit, made a fatal mistake. He missed his mark and ended up taking a bullet to the stomach. Somehow he managed to escape. After reaching a nearby shrine, his legs finally gave out under him. He had no strength left. He put his back up against the shrine and let out a moaning breath that he thought might be his last. But at that moment, in his darkening vision, he saw a woman approach him. He watched her take out her phone and dial for help. At the same time, he heard footsteps. Footsteps of at least 2 people closing in. He knew immediately that they were after him. He sprung into action, grabbing the woman and pulling her close, kissing her to keep her from talking. That was the first encounter between Falco and the woman. She was a teacher at some school. It was like she was from a totally different world than him. Listening to her talk, he would forget everything about his line of work. She was his only contact with the ordinary, mundane world. They met in secret a few more times, and Falco felt his heart grow warmer. Her smile and kindness were like a cold glass of water for Falco's parched heart. Falco started to become himself again, his former self. He swore on his life that from then on, he would live for her.
So, you want to go clean? Fine. Do as you please. You've done a lot for us. But there is one last thing.
Always one last thing.
One final job I want you to do for me. It's nothing major. This woman and her daughter. I need you to dispose of them. Should be simple, no?
I think it's the same woman.
Rohan handed Falco
refused.
a picture of a woman and a girl. It was the teacher Falco met at the shrine.
Yep.
And her daughter. She had just turned 12. Why the 2 of them? Rohan, as usual, never gave a reason.
I'm thinking...
And Falco had no intention of carrying out the kill.
I'm thinking that the teacher and the daughter is Iris and her mum. Because her mum said that she used to teach Ota in school. So we know she's a teacher. And I think Falco might be him. And that would explain why she'd been visiting the prison. To visit
but if he
him.
didn't, he knew that someone else would. He thought long and hard. How was he going to keep them safe and get out of the life of crime? He couldn't find an answer, no matter how hard he thought. He was backed into a corner. So, he decided to call on an old friend for help. And then...
Silence. For some reason, he wouldn't open his mouth again. Why did you stop?
Why did you stop?
You mentioned a detective.
You mentioned a detective.
Was that the whole story?
Was that the whole story?
He doesn't usually repeat it. He doesn't usually say it as well as what I select. What's the connection between that and Shoko?
What's the connection between that and Shoko?
Answer me.
Hey, answer me.
This is a transaction, remember?